Plan A taught you the 5-point palm exploding heart technique.
Of course he did.
When you first key on, that's telling you something's right.
Okay.
It's telling you I'm working. But if you're underway and you hear that sound, best thing to do is to make sure it's safe to stop. Look all around you, make sure that you don't have any vessels coming up from behind you. Put it into neutral, and I would take the key completely out. Reason being, you want to trim up and make sure you haven't picked up a plastic bag. Unfortunately, it's very common. People are pigs, they throw plastic in the water, and you'll pick up a bag in your water intake, and it's going to be starving the motor, and you'll get an overheat.
Okay.
So best thing to do, you don't want to keep running like that. You can burn up your water pump like that.
Right.
So you want to cut it down as quickly as possible and check to make sure you haven't picked up a bag.
Okay, so if you hear that little beep when you turn it on for the first time, it's fine.
It's fine.
But if you're in the water and you hear that beep, that means that something is wrong.
Right, something's up. You got an alarm. And it's not always a bad thing to get an alarm because these motors are smart nowadays. We can hook it up to our laptop and tell you what fault you've got, just if you've got an alarm. So we don't always, it's not a bad thing. It's basically just telling you, hey, something's up. I'll go ahead and give it a quick bump start. This is all you ever want to do out of the water. Sounds great. That's all you ever want to do out of the water. I just do that just to show you she starts right up, she fires right up. You have a bilge pump on this boat. It's not on a float, it's not an auto bilge pump, meaning it's not going to automatically fill with water and start on its own.
I would have to.
If you see you're taking on water, you just flip that bilge switch up.
Okay.
In the on position. I'm not going to do it now because it's not good to run it without water.
Okay.
Over here you have your nav lights and your anchor lights. This is what you're going to want to use when you're running at night. Okay, at night only. When you're underway at night, you want to have this flipped up. It's a 3-way rocker switch. At that point, both your anchor light, you can't really see it right now because we're in a really bright day, and your nav light, your navigation lights up forward is going to be on. Green is going to be always starboard or the right side.
Okay.
Red is always going to be port or the left side. It just tells other vessels you're heading at night. It tells them which way you're coming. They know if they see green light, they know they're on the right side of you. They see a red light, they know they're on the left side of you. So that's what that navigation light's for.
Okay.
So the green colors is where they are, not necessarily you are.
Well, it's going to tell other vessels at night where you are, basically.
Okay.
Because on the right side or starboard, green is always going to be the color.
Okay.
On the left side, red is always going to be the color. So that's how other vessels can tell where you are at night. They know what your heading is.
Okay.
Okay, so left side is red.
Left side is red.
I'm recording this one now, baby. You can stop. You good. Thank you.
Now, when you're stopped at night, when you're anchored, you want to have this flipped down.
Okay.
At which point your navigation lights will be off, just your anchor light will stay on.
Okay.
Okay? So if they see just that light, they know that you're stopped. Okay, and off is in the middle. All right? These controls here are for both of your live wells. You have both live wells. You may or may not use them depending on what kind of fishing you do, but they're there for you if you need them. And it's very simple. These two controls here are for your forward live well. You have one up forward, and you have one here in the back. Mm-hmm. Okay? These two are for the back. Now you have two settings. To fill and aerate, it's this button. It's these two buttons here. One's for the forward, one's for aft. One's for the one in the back. Okay? To fill and aerate. Now there's two options. You can either do a timer or you can do continuous. The timer will automatically do it about once every 2 minutes.
Okay.
The continuous mode is going to continuously do that, fill and aerate.
Okay.
Okay? Now this is a recirc and aerate. So this will recirculate the water and aerate the water.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically just going to add oxygen to the water, keep your fish alive.
Okay.
Okay? And same is true with this. You have a timer and a continuous.
Okay, so these two here are for the one in the front, and these two here are for the one in the rear.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it. Lastly, you have a horn here. 12-volt outlet.
Okay.
I have a manual for you here, for your unit here. It's very simple to use. As far as going to start the motor, there's a few things you should know about. There is a kill switch here.
Okay.
Attached to a safety lanyard. Just like on a jet ski, I'm sure you've seen them. Designed to be worn on your person, just in case you were to ever fall overboard. This would immediately cut the motor. Okay? And boom, you wouldn't have to worry about getting smacked with a prop or having it swim after your boat.
So that's normally clipped to the person.
Normally clipped to the captain. Yeah. Okay. Now, when I told you about flushing the motor with the motor running, there's a certain position you want to have it in when you're flushing the motor with earmuffs. It's called throttle only position.
Okay.
Okay. Now to get into throttle only position, it's very simple. You just press this button and advance the throttle forward. Basically, what throttle only is, to break it down very simply, it's the equivalent of our car in neutral.
Okay.
It's going to cycle the water in the water pump without having that prop spinning,
Okay.
without actually being in gear.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Now when you're done flushing the motor, and you don't have to do this right when after you get out of the boat either. If you haven't had time to take the boat out in a couple weeks, run it on the garden hose at home.
Okay.
Just to get all that old fuel circulated out of the lines. Okay? Now, when you want to come out of throttle only, all you have to do is come back into neutral.
And you don't press the button again.
No, you don't. And you're ready to go. Now I'm ready to go forward, I'm ready to go reverse. This motor will not start unless you're in neutral. It's a
Okay.
safety feature, okay? Just meant to, you know, you don't accidentally key on and you're already in forward gear and you take off.
Right.
So you have to be in neutral to start the boat.
Okay.
Sometimes you're in what's called false neutral. It looks like you're in neutral, but you're really not. I go to turn over the motor, nothing happens. So just be aware of that. Now I'm back into neutral and I'm ready to go. I can start the motor. Okay?
How many keys do you get?
You get 2 keys, 2 sets of keys. This is the ignition key. These are the keys for your hatches.
Okay.
What's the gas?
Gas right now, you don't have much gas in here. It's just an empty right now. They put just enough in it to run the boat.
Right.
So it's not, unfortunately, it's not like a car. It doesn't come with a full
Right.
tank. I'm
That's
sorry.
just me asking a question.
No, there are no bad questions. You can see your battery's right where you want it to be, 12 volts.
Okay.
As far as fuel, while we're on fuel, I would try and stay away from ethanol fuel. Any fuel with alcohol content in it. There's not many gas stations nowadays that carry non-ethanol fuel, but on the internet they have lists. They have lists of all the gas stations that don't carry ethanol. You can always fill up at the marina. They will have non-ethanol fuel at the marina, like if you're going out a holiday park, or they have fuel there that's non-ethanol, but you pay out the nose for it.
Right.
You can put just regular gasoline in here. Just try and stay away from ethanol fuel.
So if I go ethanol, don't I have some kind of treatment or something like that?
There is treatment, but there's no cure-all for it.
Right. Okay.
And I'll tell you, it's just not worth it. You're not going to burn through much gas with this motor.